All right. Thanks, everybody. The proper screen. So Sari, are we seeing the live presentation?
I see everything. Perfect.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, great. Well, thanks, everybody. I really am excited to have you all on this call. It's really something that we've been looking forward to, and thank you for taking your time to listen. You know, we're really excited about the way forward, and I think the opportunity here is really exciting for both our customers, our partners, and our employees too. So we want to talk about the acquisition, what took place, why did Beyond Limits acquire DocLink, and maybe most importantly, what does it mean to our customers and our partners in particular, and then how does the way forward from this combined entity look to our customers and our partners? Now, it's been a couple of years since the acquisition, which is one of the tenets of this acquisition, so we will continue to operate independently as a business unit. I think that's really important for everybody to know, that the DocLink organization that you know, the people that you deal with, we will continue to be doing the same things that we're doing. We have an opportunity to blend ourselves into the bigger company. So I'd like to take a minute to talk about our company's legacy because, frankly, it's quite fascinating. Some of you may have heard this story either through talking with some of our team members, or maybe we've had a chance to chat about it at a trade show somewhere along the line. But our company has a very rich history. And what you're seeing here is an actual picture of the Mars rover. And why is that important? Well, frankly, the legacy of our company was founded on the core technologies that help operate the Mars rover in space. That's right. Our co-founder led a team of data scientists and engineers at JPL and NASA to develop a groundbreaking technology that allowed for the autonomous operations of the Mars rover. So you think about space missions, right? There is no phoning home like the ET story. There is no data in space. You know, most AI, symbolic and numeric AI that we all probably are familiar with, is a function of learning patterns, anomalies, and detections within data that it's pruning through. When it comes across something it doesn't understand, it stops. It doesn't know what to do with it. So in Mars, the Mars rover just couldn't stop. So this team led technology that built reasoning and symbolic reasoning into the AI that allowed it to think like a human and perceive and evolve along the way. So that is the core technology behind the Beyond Limits organization. You might be surprised to know that the Mars rover is still up and operational. So it certainly worked well beyond its life expectancy. But just to give you a quick idea about the heritage of the company, as I indicated, the core technology is that we are in partnership with as a spin out from Caltech and JPL. The NASA reasoning, the AI reasoning was done with our co-founder, Dr. Mark James, and started in 2005. It was proven successful during the Curiosity landing in 2012. At one point, it actually stalled because they didn't realize that there was wind on Mars, and the wind blew a bunch of dust and debris over top of some of the sensors. And the system was smart enough to figure its way out of that by moving the sensors around, detecting some light, and learning how to literally wiggle some of the sensors to shake some of the dust off. So that's the way it thinks. It thinks and adapts to unknown environments. So Beyond Limits was formed in 2014 to commercialize these solutions and take it to market. The company was funded in a Series B round by British Petroleum Ventures. We had a C round in 2019. Saudi Aramco Ventures is also an investor in the company. And a lot of the things that we do at the BL level are around a lot of energy and markets, but the applicability is really cross-industry. So DocLink is now one of the core tenets of the product solutions that Beyond Limits offers. We're not going to get into these products in a deep way today because we really want to focus on what this means to DocLink in our AI journey. But fundamentally, there's four components to the platform. There is the hybrid platform, which is a combination of generative AI and our symbolic reasoning to create a very, very unique offering in the marketplace today. Again, we're going to be introducing some more sessions as the year unpacks about these particular products, but there's this platform, this generative AI platform is focused on the goal of autonomy, autonomous operations. There are products and solutions that sit on top of this, which again, they're very, very important, not only to the particular markets that we're in with you guys, with our customer base, but in the broader section across industry too. There's a data services component because you got to get your data right before these AI projects takes place. And we're still in partnership with Caltech and JPL for ongoing research. So the company has a very strong technical foundation, a proven architecture that was evolved from space. This is the sort of product platform, the product portfolio that sits on top of the platform. As you can see, DocLink is a component where we're referring to as an intelligent document hub, and we're going to dig deeper into this in just a few minutes about what that means. But there's a whole host of other solutions that the company has developed and has taken to market. I'm going to refer to these a little bit later on in the session and give you an example of a couple of them, but they do some advanced reasoning and AI work around things like optimizations of performance around oil and gas refineries, in optimizing the blending of fluids and technologies for organizations that are making maybe things like oils and paints. You can optimize delivery of food manufacturing processes. There's some vision capabilities. There's some advanced sensor placements for leak detections in smart cities and stuff. So there's a lot of things that deal with utilities and infrastructures and energy. But there's a missing link to this, and it's why did DocLink get acquired by Beyond Limits? We get asked this question all the time. And the easiest way to sort of articulate it is that the vast sea of data that exists inside of an organization, a big chunk of it, the vast majority of it, is unstructured data. It's documents, it's financial information, it's contracts, it's other business documents, and it's other it's other things like your channels for Slack, your Teams messages, all these other repositories of data. Well, this is the kind of data that you guys are storing inside of DocLink, right? It's not just invoices and purchase orders and things of that nature, right? It's other business data that can be stored in here. And this unlocks inside of an AI architecture the ability to accumulate and access this information during your AI journey. So it's a really important part of the infrastructure that we know DocLink to be today. Now, it may look a little bit differently in some of these organizations. Many of you have seen this diagram of DocLink, you know, this intelligent document hub, where on the left-hand side of the screen, this is the ingestion and the capture, right? And many of you are using AI today in our machine learning smart capture solution for the ingesting of large volumes of invoices and purchase orders and other kinds of documents using sophisticated matching and having that solution store the metadata on all those documents in our document hub and making that available through workflow processes, making it available through smart forms, all of these moving of document content through the organization that for our market normally integrates to an ERP system. But in other markets, this could be an LLM or another business system. So the ability to move, ingest, curate, and store data, and then move it into an ERP system or connect it to an LLM is really the long-term strategy of where we see DocLink fitting in the Beyond Limits architecture. And so just kind of looking at it sort of from an architectural perspective, you know, our whole generative AI platform has a whole bunch of components to it, which we plan to get into in another time with you. But again, just to show where the DocLink piece is designed to fit in is to manage the unstructured data that an organization has and making that available to an LLM or to another business system as their AI journey is undergoing. So this is the overall background of the company. This is the direction that we're headed. The really important thing for our customers and partners to know is that we will continue to operate as an independent business unit, serving our channel and our customers with DocLink. And the really exciting thing is what does this mean for us going forward? How do we look ahead with what's coming from this combined organization? So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Mary Jo Claire, the Director of Product Management, and let her walk you through some of the concepts and some of the things that we're working on in our AI journey.
Thanks, Don. And hopefully here you can hear me. And thanks for the opportunity to kind of talk about what we're working on. We've got some, I think, really interesting projects underway as we work to, as Don said, bring valuable AI into DocLink. And certainly for our team, there's an emphasis on value, focusing on projects that are going to help you do your work faster, better, and smarter. So for a solution like DocLink, one of the most obvious use cases for AI is data capture, the ability to identify and extract data out of your important documents. And we already have some valuable AI within DocLink today. As you know, Smart Capture, it uses both machine learning and deep learning algorithms to find and validate specific pieces of data on your documents, right? And as you train your own Smart Capture model, it just gets better over time, right? It learns from your actions. So if your goal is to go touchless or as touchless as possible for processing documents like invoices, Smart Capture is the most automated way to get those documents into DocLink. But we also have Easy Index for invoices. We completed this solution a couple of months ago, and it works in DocLink Cloud. It passes invoices that you have in DocLink Cloud up to Microsoft's Document Intelligence offering. And Document Intelligence is a machine learning solution. It's configured for about 30 standard invoice fields, and it does its best to identify and extract those values using, again, it's using Microsoft's public model for invoices. And then DocLink takes that extracted data and uses it to index your invoices. And again, this doesn't do everything that Smart Capture does. It doesn't do any of the validations, and it doesn't learn from your specific invoices. But it could save you from doing all of the indexing of your invoices manually if you're doing it that way today. But what we're working on right now with Microsoft is a proof of concept that's going to build on that Easy Index, the architecture that we put into DocLink to support Easy Index. We're building on that, and instead of using just a pre-built model for the extraction of data from invoices, we're looking at using Azure OpenAI, and that's just a version of OpenAI available in Microsoft Azure. And of course, OpenAI is the organization that released ChatGPT. So what we're doing is introducing GenAI into this data extraction process. The goal, again, is to use GenAI to identify the various data elements on the documents rather than using a previously trained machine learning model, right? So we're excited to see how this comes together. Microsoft is very interested in it as well, and so they're working with us on this proof of concept. So we'll keep you posted on the progress, but certainly we will continue to innovate and think of ways to use AI for data extraction because that's so important to DocLink. And then, as Don mentioned earlier, being a part of Beyond Limits, right, it has privileges. We are working right now with our GenAI team at Beyond Limits to integrate a new Beyond Limits product that you might have seen on that slide Don showed. It's called Beyond Search, and we're integrating that with DocLink. So with Beyond Search, you can connect to various LLMs, such as OpenAI's ChatGPT. You could use Llama, DeepSeek, any of those LLMs that you've heard about. But the really interesting part is the ability to use a RAG model to get answers to your questions. And so if you go to the next slide, Don, if you aren't familiar with RAG, It stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation, and it allows you to access and incorporate relevant information from external sources. So like in this case, it could be some documents that you have in DocLink, right? And then the LLM generates a response using the secured and private data. So the benefit is twofold. One, you get answers on valid and current data from sources that you curate. And your data stays private and secured. No one else is going to be able to access your data, and it won't be added to any public LLMs. Basically, what's happening is Beyond Search uses one of those public LLMs like ChatGPT to understand language, to understand your question, to be able to analyze the data that it needs in order to derive a response. But it's going to use RAG to actually find the answer rather than using that public LLM that could be potentially outdated or just have incorrect data in it, right? It's going to use your data to source the answer. So in this example, you can see at the bottom of the screen, I entered a prompt, and I loaded some documents from DocLink into Beyond Search, just some internal process and procedure documents. And then I entered that prompt asking about the process for submitting custom SQL requests to our DevOps team. And Beyond Search generated a response based on the documents that I provided. And you can see on the next screen, it used, there's the answer that it provided, and that little icon tells me that it used 10 chunks of data to answer that question. And I could click on that document icon, and then on the right-hand side of the screen on the next slide, it's going to show me a list, right? And I could take a look at a specific chunk within a document, or I could view the entire document. So this is an entirely different approach to search, using natural language instead of like entering its specific property values that you want to use to find documents. And while it may be interesting for the analysis of transactional documents like your invoices or orders, I'm thinking that it could be a reason to add different types of documents to DocLink, right? To use Beyond Search for analysis of customer contracts or review of project plans, the creation of new marketing materials, or a self-service way to provide product support, just like in this example that I showed. So a very exciting venture that we're taking with some of the other members of Beyond Limits. So far today, we've talked about machine learning and Gen AI to extract data, and the use of Gen AI to find answers and insights into your private data. But the latest buzzword in the AI world is agentic AI, right? Which combines reasoning with autonomous actions. You've probably heard Microsoft Copilot or Sage Copilot. Those are examples of agentic AI. And the first DocLink agent that we're working on is for document and data validation. And it might look like something on the next slide. You receive an order via email, right? The email is captured and it's sent to DocLink workflow for review. And today you'd have to do that manually. You'd have to look at it and determine, do I have everything I need? But this new DocLink agent can review the content of the email for you. And so in this case, on the next slide, we actually prompt it to provide a list of any missing data elements based on the document type configuration that you've got set up in DocLink. So because of that doc type configuration, the agent understands what is both expected and required for a complete customer order. And then it returns that analysis. In this case, it identifies all the missing elements needed in order to process that order. And we asked to put it into a nice kind of organized method to lay that out, right? The agent then places that information into a new type of document note. So you're going to be able to view it within the DocLink viewer. And then that new document note triggers an automated email to the customer via Output Manager telling the customer what data needs to be supplied in order to accept and process that order. So this is all a manual process that you'd be doing today, but this is all based on this agent and how you configure the agent. It would take place without any user intervention. And we're excited about it because it's a use case that came directly from you, some of our customers and prospects. But it could be used in some other scenarios as well. So in the case of AP invoices on the next screen, the agent could review previous invoices from that supplier, right? And display any irregularities, like it might see a change in the remit to address or an invoice from that supplier that is significantly higher than normal for that supplier. All potential anomalies that would warrant review to protect against potential fraud, right? Another example is more rather at the line item level, right? Reviewing actual unit pricing to determine if the price falls within a specified tolerance level. So if you're not using purchase orders, but you're still interested in controlling cost, an agent might be helpful in that analysis, right? So lots of cool projects underway with our DocLink dev team, and hopefully this conversation gets you started thinking about ways that you might like to see AI in DocLink. Please let us know. I would love to hear from you to better understand how we might use AI to simplify those daily tasks for you. But I think you'll be hopefully be excited to see some of this coming to a DocLink installation near you. So I'll turn it back over to you, Don.
Thanks, Mary Jo. Really cool stuff. And again, you know, our objective today is to really introduce Beyond Limits, to talk about the technology direction and frameworks that the company is working on, and how we feed into this is really important. So, you know, we talked about this a little while ago, some of the DocLink applications, and Beyond Limits applications, you can see where DocLink fits in as one of the core tenants from a product perspective. And there are various and sundry other products that are available too. You know, we've got a lot of customers in the DocLink ecosystem that are in energy, utilities, manufacturing, food production, and a lot of our solutions around, particularly in the oil and gas and energy and renewable space, where Operations Advisor is a solution that allows an organization to optimize the actual running of the entire facility. The blend optimization product that I talked about, some of the vision capabilities with Beyond Vision and Beyond Search. These are all really interesting applications, and just to give you an idea where some of these are deployed around the world, it's kind of ironic that we're having this conversation, and we're right now, and I earlier, just a little while ago, received a note that this Beyond Search solution that's being rolled out inside of Saudi Aramco is now up to 27,000 users on it. So in terms of scaling, that is one of the strengths of the platform and the organization, and we're excited to be able to leverage these kinds of technologies, you know, inside of the DocLink ecosystem. So these are just examples of where the customer, where we're deploying Beyond Limits around the world at unmanned border crossings. If anybody have ever been to the Singapore airport, it's annually rated as the greatest airport in the world. If you can say there's a positive airport experience, and that's not an oxymoron, that happens in Singapore. And the Beyond Limits platform automates virtually every aspect of that particular airport. A lot of work in energy, as we talked about earlier. So there's some really, really cool enterprise solutions that do some significant things for these organizations. And the integrated planning for the oil and gas, manufacturing, renewables, utilities around Operations Advisor. One of the use cases in North America, they've achieved $25 million a year in annual ROI, being able to run the entire operation more efficiently, optimizing the yield and the outputs. So it's pretty amazing what's available in those marketplaces. and the blending in of the unstructured content where DocLink can be a part of that is really part of the long-term vision. So when you think about what it means for DocLink today and what it means for our customers, partners, and our staff, is more importantly than all three of us, is that we are now part of a global organization that has its roots in AI that started in outer space. And that's important because it's battle tested, it's proven, and now what we're on a journey to how do we incorporate this inside our application. Mary Jo talked about just a couple of use cases that we're looking at, but I think the really exciting thing for us is the R&D that we get to leverage. Software companies just don't normally have the luxury of being able to tap into the depth and skills and experience of an organization like Beyond Limits to be able to leverage the learnings in the AI world. As a pioneer in this space, this is a great place for us to be. And it gives us a path to the AI for which we can consume it at a rate that works for us. So our strategy is to release these AI agents that Mary Jo talked about, to look at incorporating things like Beyond Search into our product lines in ways that are easily consumed for you and that deliver real value for you without having to a whole lot of heavy lifting. We just want these things to essentially work behind the scenes for you. And as importantly, operationally, we're independent. While we're 100% owned by Beyond Limits and strategically integrated to the long-term vision of the business, we still have an organization and a marketplace to run. So the teams that you work with on our sales side, the teams that you work with on our deployment side, our customer account team, all of those organizations are still in place, and we're still available to help you to get the most out of the DocLink. And frankly, what we're seeing today with many of our customers is an accelerated move to the cloud. Many of our customers have been with us for years that have on-prem deployments are now looking at what their options are to move to a cloud solution. And we want to be part of that journey with you. And we've gone through hundreds of these migrations with our customers. And frankly, there's a lot to share with you, not only of the lift and shift to the cloud, but some of the things that are different, that are more elegant that you can do with our cloud operations than maybe you've experienced in the past. And there's so much more that's available than trying to incorporate some of the basic capabilities that you might see inside of some of the ERP solutions. I like to say we use the same dictionary, but we have different definitions when it comes to how workflows work, how matching works, how the multi-level approvals work, how the ingestion of external content works, how the incorporation of third-party applications work. So it's a different destination and journey with the DocLink solution as you move to the cloud, and we've done it across all of our core ERPs. So we want to please make sure that we stay in touch, and our team wants to reach out and have some really rigorous dialogue with you about what it takes to move. We've optimized this process, and we're very excited about this journey for our customers. So with that, I'd like to say thank you. If there are any questions, Sari, from anyone, we can certainly turn it over to Q&A. Nothing like having a webinar scheduled and trying to end it and give you some time back in your day. So with that, I want to say thank you and open it up to any questions.
The one question we've gotten a couple of times is timing for these agents. What's kind of the plan for that for DocLink?
Yeah, and this is where I'm going to defer to Mary Jo because I don't want to get her in trouble because her team's the one that's got to deliver it. But Mary Jo, do you want to kind of give us some ideas about what we're thinking there?
We are in development now, but we've got some other things queued up first for our QA team for release. So I can't give you a date right now, but they're underway. So hopefully, I wish I could give you the answer you're looking for, but it's happening. And so they'll be coming to you shortly.
And I think the important thing to recognize here is that we are really digging into this in a big way, and it's our objective to be able to release these in a cadence and incrementally so that they're easy to digest and easy to deploy inside of your organization. I won't try to put a date on it because that Mary Jo will get after me after this call, and I don't want to do that. But we will be communicating more about our plans for release and probably looking out to our customer base for those who might want to help us test some of these things as we are getting closer to release.
I think we also had a question asked about having a copy of the deck, and like with all of our recordings, we'll actually have it on the portal, the support portal, so you can log in there. If for some reason you don't have access to the portal, please reach out to DocLink events at alltech-inc.com, and we can go ahead and make sure that to send you a registration link so you have access to all that information. Other than that, I don't see any additional questions.
All right. Well, again, thank you all for taking time. We're excited about this next chapter of DocLink as being part of Beyond Limits, and excited to see where this journey is going to take us. Thank you very much.